Okay, so why don't you start by explaining what we have on this table?
So
It's in celebration of what occasion?
This is in celebration of the Persian New Year, which occurs on the first day of spring. This year it was March 20th at 12:48 a.m., which is when the spring equinox officially happens.
Not March 21st.
Not on March 21st. It alternates between March 20th, 21st, and on the very rare occasion, the 19th.
Okay.
Anyway,
And in celebration of that new year, what do the Zoroastrians and other nations of Iran and Central Asia do?
well, besides, the most important thing is the table that we set up, and this is called the Haft scene.
Okay.
Sin is a letter in Farsi. It's like an S, and Haft is the number 7. So you set up the table with the 7 S's on it.
Okay.
And it's not exclusive to the 7 S's. We'll get that to a little later.
Okay.
So the 7 S's on this table start with sabze. Sabze is wheatgrass, which you tend to grow about a week or two before the actual celebration. And this is very important because, and I'll explain that later. Then you have sombol, which represents the flowers. It's a hyacinth. It's a very sweet-smelling plant. It's probably
We like
one of my
hyacinths.
favorite. I really like hyacinths. Yeah. Then you have somach or sumac, which is a spice that you put on kebab. It actually helps with digestion too, and that represents spices. You have Suzanne, which
Suzanne,
is
that's a girl's name.
Suzanne. Yeah. So when we don't get the girl, we get the actual needle.
Oh, Suzanne means the needle.
It means needle. So that represents like cloth and the textile that humans engage in.
Okay.
Then you have seer, which is garlic.
Sear is garlic.
And
Okay.
we always put garlic on everything we eat.
I love garlic.
Exactly. I love garlic too. I put it on everything.
Yes.
You have seke, which represents currency.
Oh yes.
Seke is currency.
Yes, that's true. I'm familiar with the sikka. That's how you pronounce it.
And you have sib.
Sib is
Which
the
is
apple. Yeah.
And those are the 7 S's. So you have sabze, sombol, somach, suzanne, seke, sir, and sib.
Fantastic. All right.
Now, besides that, you have other things you put on the table. You always put whatever religious text that you use. In our case, we have a Kitab Avesta, a Khorda Avesta, and a Gata book. You always have a candle. We love candles. We always, because it's just a religious thing with fire. A mirror and Abu Gulab, which is rose water. A lot of other people also put a goldfish on the table to represent the animal life.
Right.
And other things, maybe like family pictures, like I have here, cards that they receive, sweets and treats, which we have right here, and fruits, of course, which is over there. One thing that my mom does that I really wish I could do is she actually takes dried fruits, puts them in water, soaks them in water for about a week, and it creates a dried fruit juice.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Delicious. Yeah.
You've got a great view too.
It's an awesome view. It's this apartment was a steal.
Beautiful.
All right, so now let's
The non-S items, yeah.
With the actual traditional stuff that you do. So first of all, usually you pick up the Kitab Avesta.
Okay.
And you kiss it 3 times.
Oh,
it's traditional. Like you say a short prayer, so Shambahu or Yatahu, and you kiss the book 3 times. Put it, touch your forehead. Then the second thing that you do is you offer somebody shirini. And usually what we'll have is we'll have a plate with this white type of shirini. This is a nut medley that all Persians have. It consists of walnuts, dried fruit, some of the sweet these sweet yogurt candies, and different nuts, and of course pistachios, which is a nut, but you have to make sure that you have pistachios.
Okay.
Since it's Persian. So first of all, you offer somebody the shirini, the white stuff.
Yeah, let's have it.
And you give it to them, and they eat it so that they have something sweet in their mouth.
Yummy.
Next thing you do is you pour a little bit of rose water in their hand. This is kind of like a perfume.
Okay.
So you pour just a tad bit in there, and then they're supposed to rub their hands on it. Like some people rub their face with it too, kind of get the sweet scent.
Very nice.
And the last thing you do is you grab the mirror. And then you look in the mirror, and this represents you reflecting upon yourself.
Okay, why don't you reflect upon yourself? Very nice.
So that marks what we do traditionally.
Very interesting.
And that's basically it. Then after that, you sit down, you kind of do Nowruz stuff, eat food, talk, reflect upon your lives, talk about what you did in the past year and what you plan on doing in the next year. And actually, one more thing that my family does is we actually take plants, some evergreens, and we give them to each other as gifts. I don't really know the traditional thing of that, but the idea is that it's evergreen thrives in every condition and every time of year. You give that to each other kind of to signify continuing life, I guess.
And before we conclude, just one final question, and that is, would you happen to know what the Haft scene actually means? Do you know what Haft means and scene means? Does it have any particular significance in the Persian language?
What the words mean? Haft means 7 and scene is a letter. So it's the
seven S's.
That's
okay.
what it means. As far as like why we set it up, I'm not quite sure.
But it is a Zoroastrian tradition.
It's an Iranian tradition. It's a Noruj tradition. You'll find this in Afghanistan, Iran, whether you're Muslim or Zoroastrian.
Azerbaijan, Central Asia.
Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and even in India and Pakistan.
Right.
Oh, and the last thing about the Sabzeh that I wanted to mention, we also have a special holiday that happens 13 days after Nowruz. So today is March 19th. That'll happen on the...
Today's not March 19th.
I mean, the New Year's happened, I'm sorry. New Year's happened on March 20th. So the 13 days after would fall on April 2nd.
Okay.
And that's called Sizdabadat. What you do is you get together with your family and friends, you go to a park, you go to a beach, anywhere with a body of water, and you guys hang out. It's kind of like a celebration to mark the end of the festivities. And you take your wheatgrass, which will be fully grown by then, and you toss it into a body of water, usually a river. And what that's going to do is this wheatgrass is going to float down, the seedlings are going to break apart, this whole thing is going to break apart, and it's going to land on different beds of the river, and it's going to grow, and it's going to plant new life. And the whole idea behind that is you're trying to spread growth and life. Of course, I don't think that back in the days they really had any knowledge of invasive, unnatural species. So that's basically what we do.
Very good, very interesting. Well, thanks so much for sharing all this with us.
No problem.
It's very colorful.
Now, would you like some food and some tea?
I would love some. Thank you very much.
Let me prepare you some.